Hi Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, who hits that like button. That's you giving back to the channel, supporting and continuing the channel to grow. So it's greatly, greatly appreciated. Cancer, we're going to do a forecast for you. We're going to do some planetary aspects for the month of May 2020. We're going to do some messages from Spirit. We'll do some cards. But what I want to talk about is because most videos you have heard about the Saturn-Pluto conjunction moving through to 2020, 2019, 2020 about karma, completing karmic cycles, 2020 is about setting new karmic foundations, for you to learn and grow and move through. So I want to touch on that because we're going to talk about your South Node and your North Node. We all have it. Everybody has it going on in their chart and moving through their chart. So what does this mean? Our North and South Node are connected to our karma. And I want to touch on it. We've all got Cancer in our, Capricorn in our South Node. Every sign does. And every sign has Cancer in their North Node. What is this? A little karmic test, a little karmic exams popping up. Because the Capricorn and Cancer in the South and North Node are about to hit 2 degrees, which means they start to hit a new beginning and move into another sign. And next month they move into, I think it's next month. I don't think it's next week, it's next month. They're about to move into Gemini and Sagittarius and Gemini. So what does all that mean? It's like, how I've been explaining it to everyone is, it's like a little test. When you're at school, there's an exam to sit. And karma isn't just about, oh, I get it. It's you have to move through it. You have to learn it. You have to complete it. And the South and North Node is asking you to find a balance point, to neutralize. And then you complete the circle, the test, the exam, and move through it. So Cancer, in a lot of your readings, this energy here, this has been going on for about a year. And what I'm trying to say here is I've done other readings for you and there's a reoccurring theme. And it's always about relationships for you in the past year or two. And with Venus now this month going retrograde, and Venus is our love, our relationships and our money, our finances, going retrograde, it's getting us to go back and look at it. It's done it several times, you know, let's say over the last 12 months, there's 3 or 4 readings that you could probably go back to where I've touched on this same stuff. I feel like I've repeated it or said it before, but it's trying to take you back. Retrograde takes us back, but it takes us back to not exactly the same way. We go back with a new perspective, new ideas, more information, new information, seeing things a different way. So we go back over something a little wiser, with a little bit more information. So that's why this is all going on. So we're going to talk about that because this karmic South and North Node, you want to be able to complete that cycle or get the lesson or move through it. Because the South Node's your wounding. It's something you need to grow or learn through or grow beyond. So the North Node is like the balancing point, like the tonic. Like the tonic you need to balance at the other side, the other perspective, the other side of the scale. And it's in Cancer, and Cancer's deep, your Cancer, deep nurturing, you know, emotional, inward nurturing, softens it. Cancer's harsh and hard, and the hard truth and the hard lesson and the hard learning of a wounding here you need to grow beyond. And it's hitting relationships and finances. And the retrograde's going to be a lot of reviewing in those areas, but that North Node wants to give you the karmic message, the healing, the deeper nurturing that needs to come in here for you to go forward, okay? Because the North Node, your karmic collective energy, the karma you put out into the universe or out into your journey here. So that's why it's big. That's why I wanted to kind of give you the heads up. And next month we've got June, we've got the eclipse season coming, endings, beginnings, things coming out of nowhere, things very fast. You know, eclipse season's the tornado season, basically. So it's preparing you. But I feel like saying I've been saying in most readings, you know, you're sitting a test, you're sitting an exam. Yes, you have free will, whether you go through it, sit it, or continue on it, or don't learn it, or learn it. That's completely up to you. But overall, I just wanted to give you the heads up. I want to help you through it. I want you to pass that little test, or bring that balancing point in to neutralize this wounding and lesson, so you can grow through and move on and beyond. So let's have a look at it. We've got Venus, love and money, relationships. So what's going to happen there? It goes retrograde the 13th and 14th of May through to the 26th of June, and that's money and love and finances. Keep in mind, we've got some big planets. Saturn and Jupiter also go in retrograde this month around the 13th and 14th. There's some big planets going back over stuff. So this is about you developing and growing Cancer beyond where you've been able to. And that North Node's in that Cancer energy. Cancer's in the North Node, the karmic medicine. So the South Node's got that Capricorn, harsher, earth energy, practical, logical, cut your emotions off, disconnect from them, just get what you need to get done, suck it up. So, and Cancer's like, no, let's go into soften this and soften you and soften all of that wounding for you and heal it. So the full moon is in Scorpio on the 7th of May and it hits your 5th house. Now, 5th house is good. Pleasure, fun, romance, creativity, entrepreneurial energy. You know, when we're fun and light and going with the flow, we can adapt to change. Change is easy. Go with the flow. All of that energy, Cancer. So that's really good for you. On the 12th, we've got Mercury in Venus. Mercury rules communication in your 12th house of higher learning, the deeper spiritual, higher learning, higher perspective, going another level within your relationships, within your money, finances, career, all of that. So that's, and the creativity and the fun and the romance and the pleasure around the Scorpio full moon, because Scorpio is deep and intense and it wants to take us deeper than we've ever been before. It takes the rose-colored glasses off. There's one thing Scorpio does not do, and it does not look into issues with rose-colored glasses. It has magnifying goggles on, and it will go to the bottom and look through you and into you and bring you into those deep emotional depths. That is what Scorpio is about to bring about, the deep healing. So anywhere and everywhere, that Scorpio full moon is going to stir some stuff up. Everyone's going to be intense and intensified, so warning. But if there's no fun, if there's no creativity, if you're not getting pleasure and fun and light and laughter and joy, and you are going to have to adapt to make some changes, Cancer. This is time for you to make your changes. It's all about how you need to learn how to adapt. You need to learn how to be more adaptable, or learn adaptability. So that's jumping from element to element to element, or, you know, situation to situation to situation. That's adaptability. Okay. It's funny, flexibility is being flexible, but adaptability is changing. So winter, I had to put a jumper on today. First time. We've had summer where I live. Now we're moving towards winter, into winter. I've pulled a jumper out. Adaptability, like the seasons change, we adapt to that. We have to, yeah, our lifestyles change because of, you know, it could be freezing cold and snowy, and then we're at the beach, you know, in other things. So adaptability, look into that word and what that word means for you, and if anything comes up around it. Or are you being too adaptable? You know, always reverse information, because Venus on the 12th is going to call for you to reevaluate your relationships. And when we do that, and retrograde, Venus retrograde, old loves, old issues, old connections, the past, You know, what can I learn from that? That's the energy, okay, that's coming in. But here's the thing, you're reevaluating relationships. And when we do that, we do have to look at, all of us, of having to go through this, not just you, Cancer. We have to look at, where do you enable certain things in relationships? Where are you enabling certain behaviors, or, you know, things like that? And at the end of the month, on the 22nd, 23rd, we've got a Gemini new moon. And new moons are about setting new cycles, new intentions, new energy, new moons, new beginnings, you know, but it's hitting your 7th house of relationships. So that's why they need you to reevaluate your relationships as well. You do have this going on all month again, and it's come up in other readings, but it's kind of like the final test, you know, the challenge. So because once this moves, your south and north node moves out of this Capricorn Cancer energy, it's going to move into a new lesson, a new karmic lesson in Sag and Gemini. Much lighter, much easier, much breezier. We're going to feel more free and lighter. Like we can breathe. But this is heavy. Cancer and Capricorn energy is heavy. Scorpio full moon is intense. So it is in your house of relationships, and you've had that theme for about a year. I know a year, I don't know, 2 years, but definitely the last 12 months, this has come up again. So they've been preparing you, getting you to make little changes, adapting. So always look at something both ways. Do you adapt too much to others, or do you need to learn adaptability? Sometimes there's that positive and negative, and we're only asking you to find a balance point. Neutral. That means completion. Don't need to learn it anymore. So that, you know, I want you to look at what's good about your situation, because with all this deep, heavy energy, we can get into that glum to heavy energy. So they're asking you, see, around the 21st, the sun in your 12th house. And then you have Mercury and Venus in your 12th house. So this is a higher, we call it understanding, learning, perspective, higher octave of what relationships are. Like going another level. If anyone or anything from the past comes in, you need to, it's for a reason, so look at it. What did I learn from it? What do I need to learn for it? What could I have done differently? What do I need to change and adapt to? And also, when you're in that energy, money's going to come up. And I want you to really do some work this month, Cancer, for those of you who need to. If you don't, it's not for you. About money, your belief around money, your belief systems around money. And they want you to go inward. 12th house wants you to go really inward, Cancer. And I reckon you're good at that, Cancer. Going really inward. And because there's even the 13th and 14th, you've got Mars, which is sort of like assertion, go forward in your 9th house. Now that's planning trips, being social, wanting to travel if you can, or you're planning it, or you're feeling the need to. But it's also about moving forward and spiritual, like a spiritual journey, a spiritual learning. And then you've got 12th house activity, which is higher spiritual learning, going another octave or level within your relationships, within you, in relationships with yourself and self to others. So this is something you've been, Spirit just said, this is something you've been contemplating for a while, or having to work through for a while, Cancer. It's sort of like the big challenge, Cancer. Cancer's like adaptability. Sagittarius is another issue. You know, Libra's had their issue. It's sort of like that word, that one word that pops out for you in that reading will kind of be like the exam, the test. So let's see what the cards want to bring through for Cancer for the month of May. What's the message? What do we need to validate, verify, like what needs to come through? Because a lot of have 12th house, so this is higher spirituality, learning, yeah, moving beyond. Yep, there it is right there. So this is all about, I want to travel, I want to expand my horizons, move beyond, looking beyond where you've looked beyond before. So he's standing out on the ledge, leaning right over, looking further than he's been able to look before or go before. The Queen of Swords here is about, she can cut her emotions, she can cut, make changes. Where do you need to make changes? Where have you been too disconnected from your emotions, pushing your emotions down and just getting on with it and putting up with it and all of that. And then the third card here is the Nine of Swords, and that's all about mental, emotional, physical and spiritual, kind of being exhausted and over it. But I can see you coming out of it. Whatever's going to go on for you this month, whatever this healing, this test, this exam is, this karmic balance point that you need to find, it's going to bring you out of this. Yep. Look at this. Well done, Cancer. That's Scorpio full moon. It is in your 5th house. You are ripping off that blindfold. If you've been blindfolding, not willing to look, change, make the changes, look in the mirror or whatever that is for you, you are ripping off that blindfold. You're coming out of it. You have been doing, you are going to do, that was upside down in your reading. You know, look at him resisting, he, she resisting, not listening, not wanting to look inward, like not taking on this information. But look at you. You've turned that upside down too. And then we've got passion, desire, action. Now that could be you taking charge, passion, fun, going with my passions, my desires, because there is a theme here, you know, about bringing who do you want to be in the future? Like right now, the foundation you're going to lay is actually who you're going to be in the future. That's why we're completing these cycles. So what are you passionate about? What, you know, I feel like you're taking action here, Cancer. There are new beginnings coming, possibly around that Gemini new moon. But again, it's in your 7th house of relationships. And there's a big theme of trusting how to trust. And this is about new beginnings, but putting in the work. So for the new beginnings, you do have to put in the work here. Yeah, so you're going to research, you're going to go over your information upside down, gathering information, more information, working out how to move forward. Here, justice and balance upside down. And that's looking negative, but I actually feel that's how it is now. I think that's how the month's going for you. And we're going to pull some more cards to validate, because whatever that full moon brings up for you, you are going forward. You are going to move forward to your fun, your passion, romance, creativity, entrepreneurial, what makes you happy, the pleasures of life. You've decided, I'm over all this energy, not moving forward, not looking into stuff, not, you know, the work not happening or not moving and things not balanced in my life. You're actually, what I'm hearing here is, yeah, you're viewing all your options. That's good. Look at all the options. Look at other options. Yeah, and when we do look at other options and we have all those cups and all those options, it's like you start to reevaluate your relationships. Yep, Cancer, for those of you, this may not be for everyone. If you're completely happy, great. If there's a little aspect that comes up for you, just do that. That's your issue. But look at this. You are going to move forward, Cancer, finally. Whatever that is for you, job, career, relationship, direction, purpose, what brings you pleasure, you are going to move towards your wish fulfillment. You have not had your wish fulfillment. You're like, where's my, yep, some decisions need to be made this month, and you will make decisions this month, Cancer. And you will be, I always say the Queen of Swords can chop heads, or heads roll, or she makes a decision. She makes a decision, okay? She can cut off from her emotions and just do what she needs to do, or let go of who she needs to let go of. He, she, doesn't matter. There's no gender here. And that's going to help you make decisions. You're going to make the decision to do that. And that's why it pulls you out of this mental, emotional, physical exhaustion, over it, done, and your new beginning. The minute you do that, make the decision to cut off what's not working for you, what's not giving you pleasure, fun, what's not keeping you in that creative up energy that's become too hard. Once you cut it, cut them or it loose, even if it was a career, look at this. New world. That's a new beginning. New world, new beginning. Yep, they're calling for you to rip off that blindfold, which I think you're doing. I actually think you're doing it, Cancer. And death and rebirth. You're about to go through that. This full moon is ripping off that blindfold for you. You are going through death and rebirth. It's going to give you the freedom from all the stress or whatever. The changes you need to make, you're going to make them. See, any groups, any people, like anywhere, this is an agreeable energy. This isn't someone who's listening, well, they're listening now, but they weren't listening. They didn't want to hear it. So I kind of go on and say here, if you were dealing with someone or something that you're constantly trying to negotiate or battle through, or kind of give your side, or you won't adapt or they won't adapt, it's done. You're getting out of it. You're done. You're moving forward to your happiness, your passion. Any people, places, situations that aren't kind of supporting that for you, that you don't, groups, associations that you're not feeling fun or connected to, that full moon, you're moving forward. You're moving to your passion. For some of you, that is old connections coming in, old groups as well. Friends, connections, yep. Your new beginning happens, Cancer, when you actually get out of your head, get into your heart, move away from anyone or anything that is creating deception around you or deceiving you, or you're deceiving you, or, you know, you work out if you're deceiving someone or deceiving yourself, or vice versa. This is getting away with something. It's like the information's there, the evidence is there, you've looked into this, you've worked on this, you've tried to work on this. So let's say, for example, this was a job negotiation or a relationship. You have put in a lot of work here, or they have, vice versa. And where it's not working, you've kind of finally decided it's not working and I need to adapt or get adaptability. I need to change and adapt in and out of this situation. Yeah, it's not the right word, adaptation, but it's just the cards that, you know, you've put in the work, the research, or they have, or vice versa, or you've tried to make this work. You've both probably tried to adapt. And if it's not working, it's not working. That's the key here. And I don't care if that's a relationship, a friendship, group, the way you do things, your daily routines, how you deal with communication, whatever it is for you, because there's a higher learning here. And you've also got 9th house spiritual journey, and higher learning's going another octave. So where you've been able to live or put up with or kind of work through or deal with, it's like by the end of this, you won't be able to. You'll put in practical, logical steps. You might do it slowly and practically, but you want your balance and your justice back. A lot of upside down cards here, Cancer, but it's like here, you make one decision here. You have one revelation. You sit that one test, that issue you've got that you just cannot balance or find balance in, or where you're not balanced in something. It's like once you do that, it changes everything. Everything. Even money, like abundance and issues around money. Yeah. Overwhelming emotion or heart connection. You're going towards your fun, your happiness, your pleasure, your what's in my heart, what makes my heart sing, and away from you're blocked. You're not blocking this anymore. Where you've been blocking it, or if you are blocking it, it's about to be unblocked. And that will happen in whatever way it's about to happen. So, you know, even the last reading I did, there's a big breakthrough there, like for Gemini, you're about to get it. If you've got Gemini in your chart with this, oh wow. See, innovation, new ideas. Just as I talked about Gemini and the new moon, new ideas, new innovation, new inspiration, focus. I know what I want, I'm going forward, I'm confident, I'm moving forward, I'm taking action. See? Gemini new moon, I want a new beginning, I want to take the action, I'm going to go and I'm going to think about how to do it and do it. By the end of the month, I'm doing it. There's the possibility. And the exam is, they're going to, the universe or the guides, the spirits, the karmic lesson, the north and south node are going to see if you're going to do it. That's the test. You're the magician. They're going to, what are you manifesting? What are you moving towards? Are you going to sit this exam and move on and move through? Or are you're not going to? So there's a bit of a lesson here. Whatever's not working is not working. You learn through that to be more adaptable or vice versa. Okay, you'll know where that fits. And you've really come to the conclusion that you've done that. You've put in the work. And sometimes that's when we need to go, you know what? I learned adaptability, I went through the journey, I went through all the struggle of that, I learned that, or the vice versa, and I've come out, and if it's not good, if it's not happy, if I'm not getting pleasure, if it's not fun, and it's negative, then finally, Cancer, I think you're going to let go and move on. Whether that's a career, a relationship, a belief system, and in that, what do you want? What are you moving towards? What new foundation are you setting for your future? Because you're getting all these ideas here once you do that. See, once you make the decision, some of you will be have to put someone or something out in the cold. End it. Leave it behind, to move into your new direction. And your new direction and your change is not happening until you sit this exam, whatever this is. Could be a career, could be a relationship, could be how you do things. Changes, adaptability is about change. How are you with change? You'll know what the issue is. You really will. And look, I heard one more card. One more card. There's the healing that needs to happen. And guess what? It's a healing here. This man's healing this child, a deep inner wound trauma or healing that affects the relationships they have and the abundance and the money. The dog represents faith, loyalty, and trust. What did we say? The key here for you, around the new moon, Gemini new moon, and I'd say all month, the 7th house of relationships, trusting how to trust. The dog is man's best friend, trust. When we trust, we're more adaptable. When we trust, change doesn't worry us. Make the changes, Cancer. Learn adaptability. That's the journey you've been on over here with someone, something. You have been on this journey. Now they're like, here's the exam. We'll see how you go with making changes or actually changing your life, or something you've been trying to work out, make it work it out, put in all the effort, all the journey. And if it's not working and negative, they're going to see the test is, are you going to walk and make the changes, or are you just going to stay in it? That's the big test. And you will work out Cancer, because we've all got our own issues, our own charts, different things happening in different houses. So you'll know where that fits for you. Okay, so that's interesting, Cancer. But I just heard very yeah. And once you do put these new steps, these new logical, practical steps, slowly and surely, doing things properly, the Justice card will be, you'll have balance back. I'm just going to ask if there's any messages that need to come through. Yeah, no, all I keep hearing is changes. And I suppose that old, you know, what we said before, changes, adaptability are about changes and how adaptable you are and how easily you go through that. Sometimes though, when we were talking before about you went through the journey and you learn all the lessons and you put a lot of effort into something, sometimes it is disappointing when we go, look, I've put too much work into this relationship to work. So if you put so much work into a relationship or a career or a job or trying to stay somewhere or do something, and you put in all this work and effort, and we get there and you're like, well, it's still no better, or there's still no change, or I'm not growing, or I can't move forward from here. But I've put in all this effort, I'm not moving on, I'm not moving on, I'm just going to keep working at it. That's the point there, that's the test. Because sometimes we do go on a journey and put a lot of effort in, and we have to walk away and leave it and go in a new direction. And that's kind of can be disappointing to us. It can be like, no, I put in all that work, I should have got that out of it, or it should have changed. But it's like, you know, knowing when to go, knowing when to stay, knowing when you've been on a journey and you've put all your effort in and done as much as you can. And if there's still no change, then it is time to walk and make changes and adapt to those changes. There it is. There's the message. Okay, Cancer, thank you very much. I hope this helps you through the month of May and helps you pass that little karmic south and north node test. And you know, don't worry, there'll be more. Those north node and south node, the moon energy will move into Sagittarius and Gemini, but it is a lot lighter. It's going to be like a breath of fresh air. And if you pass your test, you move on. And with your 12th house and that higher learning and the 9th house spiritual journey, you have been on a journey and you still are. Okay, thank you, Cancer. Hopefully that helps you.